Hello, welcome to 100 Website Reviews. What I learnt will amaze you, and this is why. When we spoke to 100 businesses in quick succession and explored their social media and digital marketing strategies, we found out something, well, shocking really, which is 95% of customers don't think you can make money using social media. That's why we call this episode, this training video, Social Media, is there anybody out there? Because 95% of businesses don't think there is. Why would you think that? Again, it can only be a failure on the digital marketing industry, my sector, to communicate realistically what to expect from social media. The general approach or understanding or perception is this: I can put up great content and it will work by itself. That won't happen. That doesn't happen anywhere. You'd have to be extremely lucky to get any kind of business sales from just putting up great content and waiting. I need to be extremely proactive. I need to act every single week to build the audience. If I let social media behave by itself, if I put great content up and see what happens, I get a random audience. Some will be completely irrelevant. Some will be relevant, but I have no control over it. And so the first thing anybody should do in social media, especially if they're investing time and money in creating great content, is assemble the audience, the target market. I can do that very simply, very quickly, and I should do it before I start spending money on content, video content or otherwise. What's the first thing we would recommend people to do? Be targeted. Write down a list of the types of companies or consumers who buy what you sell and why. Write down a list of names. They're who I want to follow me on social media, because once they follow me or like my profile, I can communicate with them at will, free, over and over again. And in the end, they will convert because they're in the right audience. How do I find these people? It's very simple. I can go to any list broker and say, here's my standard industrial classification. This is the sector I'm trying to find. This is the location. This is the size of the company. And it sends me a list of director names. Then I can go on to all profiles. I can go on to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. I can find these people. And when I find them, I'll approach them. I won't wait. I will act. I'll send them an email, or I'll call them, or I'll follow them myself on Facebook, and we'll talk about that in a second, how that works. But I need to go out and collect the most influential, highest potential customers by name and make them follow my social media. Because again, when they follow me, I've got you. I can communicate with you again and again and again, and you will get the message. We can buy a list of 2,000 companies, that's probably about 6,000 director names, for £30 plus VAT. We know where to do that. £30 for 2,000 names. Get them on your social media profile. Don't wait and see what happens, because I assure you nothing will. Okay? What else can I do? Well, if I can't email them, and sometimes you can't find those addresses, or they don't respond, I'll name them. I'll name drop them. I will use, when I put something up on Facebook, a tweet or a Facebook post, I will name their profile. So on Twitter it'll be @person_surname. Now when I put that into the tweet or the post on Facebook, they get alerted. It rings a bell. They can't avoid me. I have a real example of this is I wrote a book about 3 years ago and I wanted an opinion from Doug Richard, the person off Dragon's Den. And the way I had him respond to me is I didn't email him, I didn't write to him. I went onto Twitter, I put @Doug Richard. I think what you've done is wrong. Tweet. Within an hour, he tweets me back. He obviously tells me to go, sling my hook. It doesn't matter. The point is, he knew who I was, and he responded. I've opened up a communication. Because I named him in the post. It rang the alert bell. He couldn't avoid it. He could have decided not to reply, but it doesn't matter. He saw who I was, and he did reply. That's the power of naming people in your posts. What else can I do to build an audience very quickly? Twitter will say don't do this, so don't do this. However, if I like you, and we've done a lot of this, if I like you on Twitter, or I follow you on Facebook, but we'll stick with Twitter. If I like you on Twitter, I can like up to, well, just slightly less than, but we'll say 2,000 people on Twitter before it stops me doing it. There is a limit on how many people you can like and follow for this very reason. So 2,000 people. I would do it in batches of 100. I'll go onto the search on Twitter and I will type in what I'm looking for. I might type business consultant. And you get a few types of result that come back from the search on Twitter. One is the posts and tweets, and that's quite interesting. But you also get people results. People who've used those words in their profiles when they describe themselves. So if I'm looking for business consultants, it shows me a list of everybody on Twitter who said I'm a business consultant. Well, if I go down that list liking, you know, bang, 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 like, which I can do in about an hour, 2,000 people, 400, 500, around 30% will like me straight back. Don't ask me why, but they do. So if I like 100 people, 30 of them will like my profile. I've got you. As soon as you like my profile, I can communicate with you at will, free, over a period of time, and turn you into paying customers. So be careful. Twitter don't like this, but if you did it, and they say it on their website, if you did it in batches of 200 or 300, you'll get away with this, I think. Get your list of primary targets. Search for them on Twitter. Follow them. A third of them will follow you back. That's 500 prime names, potentially. 400 or 500. So you'll get the return serve. I like you. I like you. I like you. 30% of them hit the ball back. Brilliant. Okay. What else can I do? Well, I know this is an issue, and time is always an issue in a business, but you can't get away from this. How I engage more and more people is I engage them. It means I have to contribute to groups, clusters of people who may want to buy what I sell. There are many different ways to do that on social media. On LinkedIn, it's literally called groups. And you would do a search. The search on LinkedIn is incredibly powerful, like Facebook for businesses. If you do a search, it will show you groups that use the keywords. Join them. But that's not enough. Then you have to contribute to the conversations. Coming back to this kind of, name people, be involved. I have to contribute, I have to invest time and become, I hate this terminology, the thought leader. That's what they say. I don't want to be the thought leader, but I would like to be noticed. So I have to contribute to the clusters, the groups of my target market who are already talking to each other. That gets me noticed. That gets me followed. I must comment. On Twitter, which is similar, I want to reply to tweets that they've made, these targets. Okay? That's the power of the hashtag. Anyone who doesn't know, and you probably do, a hashtag is that you categorise your posts, your comments. And so you can search with a hashtag and see all the different comments and posts that people have decided to label their content. And so hashtag business consultants will show me every tweet that's ever been categorised with that. So by categorised, I mean mentioned in the wording. Well, that's a group. By any other name or words, hashtag is a cluster of people who like or share or are similar. They have the same thing in common. As a cluster, I can tap into it. Finally, if I'm trying to assemble an audience, and I've looked at hundreds of social media profiles and analysed them, and the ones who have tens of thousands of followers, they didn't do anything clever. They needed a critical mass to put good content out to, and then it would fly. And they paid. They paid for ads. Facebook ads, the most powerful advertising database in the world. Real-time data and detailed data on people's age, where they live, what they like, what they looked at. I can promote a page, and promote a page works a lot better than boost a post in our opinion. I can show my ad just to that cluster of people and say, please like me. As soon as they like me, as soon as they click it, I've got you. In the long term, I can communicate with you at will for free. So, cost, we spent, I don't know, for £200 you'd probably get 500 or 600 likes, about 30p a like, but it's worth it because once I get a critical mass, they share and that has some virality, you know, there's viral stuff in that. Yes. Finally, to sum up, you can be a Twittery bird if you want, but I really wouldn't, because social media, you will stay with the same opinion, which is 95% of people believe you can't make money on social media. Or you can be an eagle or a bird of prey and go and find these people and tell them to like you, and assemble your audience, then put your great content out. That's it. Simple stuff, but powerful, I hope. Next week, we're going to be talking about content, and it's going to be called 10 Seconds to Get Me. See you then. Thanks for watching. Like, share, do whatever you like. Thank you.